Hey everyone, today I'll be explaining the environmental impact of the Asian lady beetle, also called the Asian ladybug. Although most people think of ladybugs generally as harmless and helpful, this specific species of ladybug has caused major ecological changes since being introduced into North America. So, first of all, what are Asian ladybugs? Well, the Asian lady beetle, scientifically called Harmonia axaritis, was originally brought to the United States to help control crop pests from Asia in the year 1980, especially with aphids. They spread quickly into forests, farms, and neighborhoods, which wasn't fully expected at the time. The next section I'm going to be looking at is identification. They might look similar to native ladybugs, but there are key differences that exist. Their color can range from yellow to orange or red, and they often have multiple spots, as you can see in these photos. Also, the bottom of their bodies looks a lot more red than a normal ladybug's would. The easiest way to tell them apart, however, is by the marking behind their head, which usually forms an M or W shape depending on viewing. They're also significantly larger and more oval shaped than many native ladybugs. Now let's look at some helpful effects. These beetles do have environmental benefits, believe it or not. They eat very large numbers of plant damaging insects like aphids and mites. Because of that, farmers often use fewer pesticides, which protects crops such as soybeans, fruits, and roses. That was the main reason they were introduced in the first place. However, their population has expanded so much that problems have started to appear. They compete with native ladybug species for food and space, causing native populations to decline. In some cases, they also eat the eggs and larvae of other insects. Indoors, they cause in mass clusters during colder months, especially during winter. And they also can release a bad smelling fluid that can stain surfaces and irritate skin or pets. So let's look at the overall impact of these ladybugs. Overall, Asian lady beetles help agriculture, but they reduce biodiversity. When they outcompete native species, food webs shift. Fewer aphids remain for other predators, and native ladybugs lose resources. Their presence shows how introducing one species, even for a good purpose, can cause long-term changes to an ecosystem. To manage them, prevention works best. Sealing cracks around windows, like this gentleman is doing here, keeps them from entering homes. Using window screens and vacuuming individual beetles indoors are safer approaches than pesticides because chemicals also harm native insects. Planting native plants helps support native ladybug populations so balance can return. If you want to learn more, researchers and environmental agencies provide updated information on invasive species websites and agricultural extension periods. However, you can also look at this site that my friends and I made that I will be providing in this video's description. Have a good day.